47.
All right, welcome back and thank you so much for staying with us. You're watching TV47 Breakfast, and being a Wednesday, let's shift gears now and talk matters relationship. This morning, we're looking at the red flags that maybe we ignore that could lead to love turning deadly. So when love turns deadly, that is the conversation you're having this morning. And kama kawaida, we welcome you to be part of it through our socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube on X. TV47 Digital, be sure to tag me at Annie_Odida. Use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast. It will make it easier for us to sample your feedback. If you want to call in live, you can. There will be a number on your screen very shortly. And our WhatsApp line is also active, 0793-267-279. Tambie, what are some of the red flags that you think we tend to ignore in relationships that then end up getting violent or deadly? Karibuni sana to studio.
You.
How are you, Ziwa?
I'm doing well.
Yeah?
A little warmer after entering the studio.
Yes.
It was freezing out there.
Yeah. All of you are complaining about cold except Matthew. I haven't had Matthew complaining about cold. Cindy, unasikiaje sahi? Uliingia ukisema I'm frozen. I'm not even seeing you guys.
I was so frozen.
Yeah.
I even told him. I think that was the first thing I told him when I got here. I am frozen. And serikali do something about the weather.
Zim said na hauna bwana.
Bwana. So you can imagine it is a menace.
That is why we're here this morning to talk about matters of the heart. Like, is it a thing with the slim people? Manake also complain about cold a lot, especially in the morning.
Get married.
Well, newsflash. Newsflash. Matthew, ukaje?
Niko poa?
Uski baridi?
No. I'm used to it.
You're good. You're a hot guy.
I'm used to it.
All right.
Yeah.
Today we're talking about when love turns deadly. Are we ignoring the red flags? So just start us off, yeah? Why do sometimes, we are starting off so well, we are in love, the honeymoon phase continues up until, years even, and then it gets to a point, one time this love just turns so violent, somebody dies in the process. How do we get there?
Thank you, Anne. There's an intro that we're talking about with a friend, Dr. Maestro. And we said sometimes people make vows and say until death do us apart. But I think sometimes it's good to take note that could be a red flag to some people. The person is actually swearing to take you out and you have no clue.
Until death do us apart.
And that particular individual might be the death trap that you enter with into the union. Because some of these in events that happen in marriage, which would call red flags, you did take a little longer time into dating and courting to know them, because that process is meant to you to interrogate the relationship, to get to know the person, navigate people who know the person that you're getting involved with, allow others to be genuinely interested about your relationship, because they're not involved. They're able to see certain things you're unable to see. And when you have your dopamine and oxytocin involved in that experience, sometimes you don't see the things that you ought to see because the chemistry is happening. And the emotions are involved in there. And someone is telling, hey, that overprotection, that's not healthy for you. That love bombing, what is he hiding? What are you afraid of? There's a fear of loneliness. The culture is telling you, you should get married. So there are certain red flags you don't get to see. And by the time you're too deep into the relationship, some things come alive and like, oops, I didn't see this one coming. He was all over me, giving me all these gifts, love bombing me and all that. I didn't get to see that there's something that is hiding behind his character. The place of jealousy. There's a place where we're all jealous for the ones that we love, your significant one. but there's that jealousy that spells it out. This is not good for me.
Yeah.
And you get in there and you discover this guy is abusive. Doesn't take long. Yes, where have you been? He knows you went to work. Then you're late. Before you even see it out, a slap has already landed to you. And you're like, God, I didn't see this. This guy, I didn't see this rage, I didn't see this anger. I didn't know he was like this.
Yeah.
Now, the drama has started. But some people were able to see it before you even saw that. And like,
So we're always blinded by love.
yeah. So I think one of the things that causes people to be in that space, they self-isolate themselves. And when you're in a place of isolation, you're excluded from people who genuinely love and care for you to tell you certain things. And I always tell people that abuse happens in isolation. Be exposed to people who love you. Date and court in public spaces and places where people who know you can come way into your relationship. You'll be protected. Yeah.
All right. Cindy, before I come to you, Cindy, you know, you said something about till death do us part. Perhaps do you think we should change it to till disrespect do us part?
No, you should stick in there
and
until death do you apart. That has its placement. In others, there's no exit out of it once you say I do. But I think there are some things that it brings you to a consciousness to take note. This covenant relationship you're getting into, it's a lifetime experience. Some things will come up. So don't do it inadvisedly. Don't do it in a hurry. Take your time and allow some premarital counseling to help you, because you get to investigate and navigate things for its practicality, for what it's going to be. Yeah.
Cindy, let's analyze that first before, of course, we get into the topic of discussion. Till death do us part, yeah? What do you think of that? Because what I'm getting from Zim here is that sometimes it ties people into some sort of a box when in marriage, because you know that we swore in front of, you know, the church, in front of our family, the priest, in front of God, that, you know, till death do us part, we're going to be in this union. Are we tying ourselves in some sort of box, and then we're all just here, you know, living in this abuse that then we cannot leave when things are going sour?
Right. So first of all, let me just declare that I'm Gen Z before I make certain comments, because it will come in handy. Yeah. First of all, I don't agree at all whatsoever with the term till death do us part. There's a statement you made, and I was getting there. I was just waiting at Amaliza niseme sangapi. For me, it's still disrespect do us part. And for me, it's not just about the vows, because the vows would mean you're making it official, yeah. But the official nature of your relationship, you have the courting season, you have the dating season, right? This is before you actually decide this is the person I want to spend my life with, the rest of my life with, or part of it, depending on how you will, you know, interact. But in this space, yeah, there's some disrespect that you see, that you pick. And you talked about isolation, which I've noticed a lot of abusers tend to really magnify in a relationship, such that they'll see you for who you are, and then they'll say, if I can just manage to get her away from her friends and her family, there's a way I can manipulate her. It's a manipulation tactic for most abusers. So they're able to take you away from the people who will sense a certain danger and tell you, please retract from that relationship, right? But then he also mentioned something about private dating. He said, please ensure that your relationship is very known by your friends, your colleagues, such that people are able to tell you, hey, Cindy, you're going the wrong direction. This guy is not for you, right? But then I have a question, probably was to him, yeah? This is me being very curious. What if, you see, in the digital era, we are pro, let's do this under the radar. I don't want people to know, you know, I don't want people to know I'm cuffed, I don't want people to know I'm getting married. And they say it's because, you know, social media has a way with things, but sometimes the exposure you want to do about this guy, that his face you're trying to, you know, conceal is what the next person will see and tell you, hey, huyo, I've been with him. I've seen him in 2 different angles. So tread carefully when you're in a relationship with him. So for me, it's a question majorly. Do you think that you're able to do that public, or you're able to
public display of affection?
Just let people know who you're dating in this digital era without its implications, especially if you're a public figure. Say you're a politician, you're a content creator, and you're trying to, try to just make it very personal for yourself and not make people. So for me, it's still disrespect.
It's still disrespect.
And it doesn't have to wait till marriage. If you disrespect me even in the courtship season, we are done.
You're gone.
And
sometimes, they hide these things, especially in the courtship season. And so I'm thinking about, and we'll come to that question of posting online, because I was coming to it as well. If you guys do support these relationships where, they're public and all of us tend to see them. But that question that I was to ask you, because some of these people hide. They tend to pretend. They'll show you heaven, while they're courting you. They want you to get in a relationship, and then 5 years in, 10 years in, and then you start seeing their real colors. So how do you know the telltale signs that will get you thinking that hapa huyu amenirushia chupa niko ya chupa, the next time atanirusha na mtungia gas. So these telltale signs, what should we be looking out for, Ziwa?
I think what we always think is private is always public knowledge. There's nothing private really about dating and courting and relating and genuinely getting in love with someone. It's public knowledge. It's only private to you, but it's public knowledge. But it's one of those things that you must draw your boundaries clear, because when there's communication, because we are considered dating a place of communication, when communication is clear, there's nothing left behind for imagination. You know what you're getting yourself into. I'm not trying to imagine. I don't want that. That's why we're dating and that's why we're courting. I want to know this individual that I'm involved with, is he aggressively passive, or is he dealing with traumas that he has never dealt with? Because those traumas, if you don't deal with them before, you carry them with you into the relationship. So in using the social media platform, what my friend has mentioned, I think the generation that trapped in that social media platforms, sometimes I find them antisocial, because you post there for a point of celebration, then it turns out negatively scripted. And like, why did I even post that image about my spouse, about my wife, about my boyfriend, my girlfriend? It brings some unwarranted pressure. But the reality that you need to take cognizant with is that you need to know that not everyone that is there on that social media platform is your friend. And they wish you the best. So don't be too quick to jump into the inbox to read the comments. You need to relate in a way that you take this relationship off these platforms. These are people who will bring on a perfect front. But there are people who will see you for who you are. They connect you for who you are, the best authentic version of yourself. And then usually not too many. They're not more than 8. Usually they are not more than 8. 3 is quite a good number. If you have 8, you're really, really in a good space. These are the people you should expose your relationship to, because they'll tell you for a fact and say, the way that guy smirks, They'll laugh it off, but they've said it. Say, where are his parents? Where does he come from? What does he do? Does he work? Does he have a job? There are things they will genuinely ask you. So social media platform, I will not encourage anyone to take their relationship on such platforms. When the relationship is too premature, even when it's mature, you'll find I have only one image I would post there for the sake of people to know. I'm in love and I'm married and this is my family.
Keep women at bay.
Yeah, my children are not there. My wife is not the... Of course we are public people, but there are places where you protect and preserve and conserve your relationship for that purpose.
We'll get back to that deeply, because I have a different opinion on posting on social media, although I don't, but I do have another opinion. But Matthew, let's bring you in, yeah? I want us to still just unpack this whole idea of till death do us part, the way Ziwa brought it up. What's your opinion on that? Do you agree that that is a trend that should we should continue, or should we say maybe, for example, until maybe disrespect do us part?
Thank you so much, Anne. And I've been just listening to the counselor and Cindy, and I'm truly overwhelmed about the same. But if I try to answer that question just directly, because they have already escalated each and everything, I will say that the term is okay. It has been there. As an Afrocentrist, it has been there since our Asian days, and it is still there, and it will be there. So what does death do us apart mean? Doesn't only mean dying and being buried. What is dying? The way Ziwa was saying, the blooming, the power of love, the way it started, first 3 months, in the first phase, when it dies, you need to raise an alarm. There's a kind of changes that will come in, yes, but there's a process on which some things should not exactly change in a certain way. And this is why I want to bring this essence of in what family structure are you living under? Because Ziwa has said it very well, that the relationship or marriage should not be an isolated island, but it should be communal. It has been there, that way. So if a person, the way Cindy said, if a person wants to manipulate you and wants to finish you once and for all, the first thing they will do is to isolate you from the people who can help you very, very much easily. Can isolate you from the family, from the community, and then after all, when we hear about gender-based violence, when we hear about the fight, what are we saying? Mind your own business. This is the modern culture that we have tried to bring into our own space. You are minding your own business in your house, the next door someone is dying. So what kind of life are we living? So when I just touch on the till death do us apart, is that that term is okay, but it's quite wide. What is dying? Number one, love is dying. Number two, attention is dying. Number three, responsibilities are dying. Yeah, as a man or as a woman, responsibilities are dying. The environment, the way you are carrying yourself, everything is changing. So the moment those things comes in, now it's a it's a nice time for you to make things like just make peace and solve things, and everyone can move their own direction. That's a very nice perspective, that love itself could be dead, not necessarily you as a person dying. But now let's get to the topic of discussion, Cindy. These relationships that sometimes turn out deadly, do you think that victims always ignore the red flags?
You know, a red flag doesn't just spring up on someone. For instance, I'll borrow a lot from Ziwa's initial comments of abuse in relationship. You know, he won't just come and slap you one day. In your formative days of, you know, dating, your early days of dating, you'll see his temper. He'll come and tell you, why is this not done in this, you know? And you'll feel this is not a normal way of someone getting angry. You'll see there's something deeper than what meets the eye. So for me, I feel like red flags don't just spring up on you. There are things that you can tell from the very, very onset. His temper is not normal. The way he even interacts with his friends or her friends, it's not normal. People who have casualized something like, let's say, objectification of women, they're most of the time people who will end up abusing women because they don't see women as equals, and you understand. So it's not something that I would say just springs up when you it's something that you've seen, you've ignored because you feel like you're really, really, you know, in love. So
above the program.
Yeah. And no one is above the program, yeah. So for me, it's not something that just comes out of nowhere. It's a pattern that you must actually understand. And sometimes if you come from an abusive family or somewhere that gender-based violence is normalized, you may not pick it immediately because you'd be like, this is normal. So sometimes you're able to interact with people who have been from quote-unquote healthy families, and they understand what a relationship, a normal functional relationship looks like, where the husband respects the wife and vice versa is also true. So for me, I think interaction with people who understands that, and also he mentioned something about premarital counseling. I believe that is majorly those are some of the major topics they talk about in those spaces. Yeah, so those are my 2 cents.
All right, Matthew, what do you think about it? Are we ignoring the red flags, especially in these relationships that turn very violent, and sometimes somebody dies in the process?
The nature of current system or type of dating is that many people know the truth, many people understand what they are supposed to do, but they refuse to. No, I don't want to use the word ignoring, but they refuse to do what is supposed to be done. So we are trying to visualize our feelings. Yeah, we are making like we are taking our feelings in terms of relationships as a plaything, like as an art. Yeah, not necessarily as it's supposed to be taken. So many people understand what is supposed to be done. Even when the way she has said, I can feel that I love this person, but I'm not seeing the future in this person. So after all, I know we will just things will not work later. But now I refuse to save each other's time now and decided to ignore whatever is supposed to be done. So people have taken the relationship and dating dating way as an industry itself, yeah, as an SMEs, as a sector on its own.
Transactional.
Yeah, it's transaction currently, and this is what is killing the real value of love. This is why you will hear people saying there's no real love. Squeeze hakuna mapenzi. I cannot love, I cannot get married. This is the main reason why all these problems are coming from. They are not coming from anywhere, whereby people are trying to trivialize the system and the structures of dating and love. And then to touch on whatever she has said about premarital counseling. And the good thing, counselor is here. And he can tell you, these people go there. They are being cancelled. The same thing that they are told not to do, they are going to do them. Yeah. What is happening is that when people go to this counseling, it's like they are doing, it's like a system. So it's like going to school, going to university, after getting to university, writing a CV and looking for a job. You are not giving the solution on the problem that you went to university to study. So people have also taken that now into marriage. Like when I reached the age of getting married, I'll find a lady or a guy, I'll get to them, to the counselors or the pastors or clergy people, will do the premarital counseling, and then after all we'll get married, and from there what happens? So people have taken it like just a casual thing, because the same thing that they are told there, they are doing totally opposite. If this person is brutal, nothing is changing. But at the same time, I'm giving a challenge to our counselors. You know, our counselors also are just giving the counseling without, even they can see this person is not a good father, this person is not going to be a good mother for this person. But for them, because they don't want to spoil the kuharibu kuchoma picha, they just give them the counseling. After all, when they go out and then they come and ask the counselor what happened, hata mimi sijui. So he should also.
Sometimes they see and they encourage that behavior.
Yeah,
Cindy, you wanted to say something before we bring in
absolutely.
Well, first of all, why are you wasting someone's time? Like, if we are not compatible, I just feel like, you know, it's okay, it's really fine, and just tell me beforehand before I waste 2 years of my life with. Because maybe I'm seeing a vision and I'm seeing the long term, you know, marriage goal at the end, and I'm like, yeah, this could work. And you've seen, you've seen it's not past 6 months, and you're still there. But then something that really caught my attention was when you was talking about love being transactional. I work with the Parents Groove initiative. It's an organization that works with the parents and helping them how to, you know, parent their children in this digital era. And one of our conversations this week was majorly about transactional love, transactional relationships, which got me thinking when you were saying, sometimes you really want to let go of this person, but your background does not allow. Sometimes you really come from a really, really poor background, and this is the only person who you're getting support from for yourself and the people back at home, right? So it is quote unquote transactional, because it's not purely transactional. I don't know what you bring to the table, but for sure this person is really helping you financially, right? What then, and maybe he will weigh in and help on this, how are you supposed to go about that? You've looked for jobs, they're not forthcoming. You've looked for ways of surviving, they're not sustainable. Or even if it is, they're not as sustainable and as helpful as whatever this guy or this lady is providing. So how do you approach that in a way that doesn't make you stay in an abusive relationship because you look at the transactional value of it or the financial value of it, vis-a-vis you being beaten close to death by this guy because, well, he's abusive.
Because he's providing.
And he feels like there's nowhere you'll go. He's like, huyo hata. And you've seen those clips of Mbalamwezi and Nana. I don't know if you've interacted with them on TikTok. I know most of the people would be like, this is just content. But in most relationships and marriages, such are actually, you know, things that are happening, and people can actually see that those are the things that are affecting most relationships.
All right. We'll go step by step, and I want to take you, Ziwa, to the point of social media, because you discourage it. You discourage people posting their relationships online. But I'm of the opinion that sometimes you see somebody would post their partner, and especially this is on your side as men. A lady will post a very beautiful photo of herself and the male, the partner, who maybe they're somewhere on vacation, and then somebody in the comment section would see that guy and say that he's actually married with 2 kids. You know, the girlfriend is my friend. You know, such comments. So I think especially if relationships are in the formative days, then if somebody could post and then get such comments and it's helping, for that not to get to a point where, you know, now we are so invested in this love, somebody's going to get hurt here if somebody's going to leave. So really, what do you think of posting, especially in the formative days, to just prevent so much hurt in the long run?
Thank you, Anne. Because that was forwarded by Cindy, let me recap on the same. Not that I'm not for posting on social media. Social media is a very wonderful platform, as a really, really beautiful platform. If one would use it in a place that it enhances what you have, not destroy what you have. Because it can be a place of accountability. Like I said, we live in a global world. I live in a foreign country. Someone else lives in a foreign country, and on the platform they get to affiliate or associated to your relationship is with the information you provide out there. If there's nothing posted there, they have no clue what's going on in your life. However, when you look at it closely, the generation we're talking about, everything of of what they do in their life must find its way on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter, on TikTok, and all these other social media platforms. And that's the burden they are carrying. You see, it's like watching TV. And there are some toxic news every now and then that comes on TV. And then you complain when you leave after watching that program. That's a self-inflicted wound. The same is true with social media. Everything you post out there, it is you who took it there. They can only relate with what you post there. If you don't post it there, they have no clue of what's going on in your world. However, it could work in your favor if you're posting your spouse and say, this is my super, this is my significant other. Like, where?
We are sharing.
We are sharing. It could work in your self-preservation and protection because there are people who genuinely care for you who are on the same platform. Oh, it could be, isn't this the same guy I saw in the other restaurant?
Yes.
Watch and PGS, let me call this person. Somehow it could be working in your favor. However, it could also work in the negative, based on the kind of people out there that are close associated with what you're doing. But when all is said and done, I think there's a place where you need to have accountability, not on social media platforms. Have people around you, close to you, that are dear. You know, even in a family, everyone is born a sibling, but very few are born to be friends with you in the same family.
Yes.
But there's those that, you know, are in my family, this is my friend. I can be accountable. Okay, they could be a distant cousin, but if they've been able to build that relationship to be friends, you can make yourself accountable. Not everyone is a colleague, is a friend, but there could be one who is a friend. You can make yourself accountable in that light. Because they might not be brutal as social media can be. Because what is it's out there, believe me, we can edit it, we can crop your photo, your family, and put someone else in the same image and put different people. With AI, there's a lot people can do on social media platforms. So the best thing you can do, make it clear that once you post it there, whatever that comes with it, you are able to handle it. But what are you looking out for in social media that you can't find in the ecosystem that is around you, between family and friends? People genuinely love and care for you. Stop looking for validation of social media platforms. You might be very disappointed.
Post to find your co-wives and co-husbands.
You cook a meal and the first thing before you even eat it's Gen Z. You enter a restaurant before you even sit down, checked in. Some of these things are not necessarily going to be helpful for you to build a healthy, vibrant relationship. And
you have a Gen Z in studio. I don't know how she feels about that.
I feel so attacked in the good way, of course. Because when we came in and we were being mic'd, I asked the lady, "Can I take a video of this, you know, for my socials?" And she was like, "It's fine." So for us, I don't think it's much of an issue. Personally, at least, and sometimes just accountability. If I may just, you know, talk about relationship as a whole, you yourself said that the world is a global place, and right now you can't just say at my ecosystem will inform the person I date or the person I interact with on a daily basis. I may have gotten married in Norway, you know, or just somewhere, and I don't know anyone else in Norway. I don't know anyone else he doesn't know anyone else in Kenya. But he has a platform of social media. I have a social media platform as well. I post him, he posts me. You see, the interaction between Norway and Kenya is brought down to a very small level, right? Such that someone in Norway may say, you know, that girl that you've posted, I've seen her, you know, with someone else, and you know, you understand the relationship there. So for me, if I am to look at social media in that aspect of relationships and accountability, I would say it really doesn't broaden the global aspect of relationships and keeping people, you know, on tabs. Now, aside from that,
Yeah.
Why can't I just take a photo of my food before I eat it?
You want to take a photo of everything? And
because I do, and I am just, you would hate having me around because I take a photo of everything.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's good, but sometimes you also sit down and wonder, is this, content friendly to the outside world? What would they think of? And sometimes also, when I told you guys, I'm taking a video of you guys without your consent. Sometimes consent is important, yeah? So I understand the millennial point of view of us Gen Zs being all over with our social media, but this is the era we were raised in, yeah? The way you guys were raised playing outside, and you'd be given money and you go lose it. Us, now this is
your time.
This is our time, and this is what we understand best, yeah? And it's even to your advantage, because sahi ukishindwa ku reduce light kwa simu, I'll just come and tell you do this. So it's to both our advantage.
I love how she's justifying the use of
Really
social
trying.
media and posting it so much.
In the
It's
world,
justifiable, Cindy.
you're going to attract who you are. And because you're going to attract who you are, quite likely the people who are going to come into the margin of your sphere of influence are too close to the proximity of who you are. And I think marry as close as to what you would really ideally want. If someone is negatively scripted about social media, you will not come to your space because you're always there.
Yeah.
Then the same is true. Because of the proximity of the things that you're more prone to be inclined to, you want a loving, genuine, authentic gentleman who is accountable. I think in that light, you will attract exactly that. You won't attract someone who will abuse you and slap you.
You may,
because
it's very possible.
there are things that you will be able to see and filter pretty too fast because of who you are. You know, a healed version of yourself without trauma in the past will attract exactly what you're looking for. But if you've not healed, like, because some of these red flags sometimes is as a result of where people are coming from. If you've been in a toxic family and all these things are always predisposed to around you, the women usually come with a savior complex. I will change him. I will change him. Shock on you, I always say, please, you won't. Don't try. You're not Jesus. Say, don't be in a place where
Even Jesus can't change them if they don't want to change.
You know, you're preaching. I'll collect the offering. But there's a place in life where you don't need to approach relationship from a savior complex. If someone has come from a traumatic past and there are things they would naturally instinctively do unconsciously, because that's what they've been used to. They're used to beating people. They're used to taking alcohol and blame their behavior to their alcoholism. Because not everyone who drinks ends up battering and beating people everywhere. There are things they're used to, like cheating, is sleeping around and philandering around is associated with them. So when they come into a relationship, don't expect miracles. That's who they are. They might act, because dating and relating with someone, we always bring our best foot forward. But behind the scene, oops, he will come into his true version, like, I didn't see this one. True.
All right. Matthew, you brought in something quite interesting. You say that some relationships nowadays have been made to look a little bit transactional, or a lot more transactional. Last week we were talking about the point of love, and we were asking, so what's the point of getting or being in love? You know, involving yourself with somebody with the intention of possibly it getting to you know, somewhere where you see your future together, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, shouldn't we be getting into relationship with some sort of expectations? Maybe my expectation is you know, I'm a gold digger and I'm going to get money from you, or maybe your expectations could be different. But for somebody who is getting into a relationship knowing very well that I'm getting in here because I know I'm going to get security, this guy is going to provide for my every need. He's going, my kids are protected, my education is protected, I don't have to worry about bills anymore. So really, what's the point of love? Because people get into love with different reasons.
Thank you so much. Number one, according to a research that we did sometimes in, you know, I'm a researcher at the same time, but deep into Afrocentrist and community work, Pan-Africanism. So we found that for a lady, it might take her like around 65 years to know 40% of a man. Maybe psychologists will confirm that. For a man, it takes almost 80 to 90 years to know 25% of the woman they are living with. So probability of you dying without knowing the person that you've been living with, even 50% of it, it is so high. So whatever you are able to know about her is whatever they have already allowed you to know about them. So that's just to touch from whatever psychologist was saying. And sorry. In the same juncture, now to your question, a lady will commit to you, number one, when they have full assurity that you are able to protect them. What type of protection? Number one, the responsibility, their kids will be safe, their security is guaranteed, and their welfare is well much protected. That's when a lady will be able to be not submissive or subject, but be able to agree that I'm ready to settle with this type of a man. For men, what they need is just the respect and the support to keep chasing their dreams, to make sure that they can give the provision that is necessarily needed. I come to the transactional part of it. My point came in when I was trying to elaborate. If you lady, you know very well, I'm not going to marry this person. You know very well, there might not be a future with this person. But because of transactional part of it, you feel that I need to be attached. Then at long run, now the feeling that do what? Now comes in. Now after 2-3 years, now you're pregnant. And according to your environment and everything, you need to do what? You need to get married to this person. Remember, number one, the idea was not what? It was not marriage. The idea was, I need financial protection from this person. But for a man, the idea was, I'm seeing a future with this lady. So by the time we are getting married, for a man will know, I have married the person that I wanted. For a lady, I decided to settle because something happened, something unexpected. But the initial mission was to do what? To get the financial support. That's where now the problem between the communal I can use the word subgregative and the communal agent of relationship and marriage now collide. Because this person, initial mission was not about marriage, but now they are in a relationship. What will happen? Every time is a fight. Every shortage is a problem. No understanding. Quarrel day in, day out. That's where now this transactional part of it comes. But I still support the point of any time a lady comes into a relationship, they try to see, even if that financial the protection is not enough, but is this person able to protect my future and the future of my kids through financial stability, being a responsible person, and the security part of it. and the wellness and the welfare of my family at large. So that's what now comes in. Yes.
Cindy, I want you to weigh in on that, because last week we had this conversation and Ziwa was in studio as well. The point of love, why we get, we fall in love in the first place. And I want us to tie it to the conversation of the day, when love turns deadly. Why do we, fall in love in the first place? And why does it, have to turn deadly?
Okay. So first of all, can we just, I don't know if we can have an agreement for both men and women that both of us must, sign before we get into this. Because some people say, I don't get into love with expectations. Okay, si basi ukae kwenu. Because, when you're getting into a relationship or marriage in the long run, you have expectations because you have principles. Principles and standards are already a sign of expectations, right? Because you're saying, I don't want a person who can't provide. I don't want a person who can't treat me this and that. Those are already expectations. So you can't say I don't have expectations when getting into a relationship. And for men and ladies, they're different, right? And you're asking, why do we get into relationships that then turn sour? You see, these people who are getting into relationships with no standards, with no expectations, with no principles. Yeah. Those are the people who anything goes. They'll come to counselor and counselor will tell them, you see, I don't know if you're allowed to side chat people and tell them, achana na huyu, huyu hapana. Is that professional? Of course not. But if you were able to do that, you'd save a lot of people who are getting into marriage, and you know very well this person, even the way they're handling themselves, the way they're operating during these sessions that you're having with them, you see, hey, huyu is not gonna, be the best match for the best fit for this lady or this gentleman, yeah. But you see that they go to this counseling, they see the red flags, they don't even, they paint them pink, they paint them, anything else but red, yeah. So you get that by the time they're now getting into marriage, they get to a point where it's transactional, and when it's transactional, you're now tolerating each other, yeah. You get there and you've had the first kid. He has mentioned that you may have the first kid, the second kid, you got pregnant and there's nowhere you're gonna go, so you're just there. And now you're tolerating this person, or you're there for the other wrongest reason, okay, most wrong reason. Like, I'm here for the kids. Why are you there for the kids? Because in the long run, you're also affecting the mentality of the child. Yeah. They grow up in a setting that understands that abuse is okay. Talking to your spouse in whichever way you feel right is okay. Not providing for your family is okay. So you're bringing up a crop of people who don't get to understand what healthy relationships are. So in 10 years, we are still going to be here talking about this same conversation, and when we would have avoided it the previous 10 years that passed, yeah? So for me, have your expectations, have your standards, have your principles when you're getting into a relationship. Understand that this is something that I would not negotiate on. If my love language is, respect and physical whatever, that is it for me. If someone cannot provide that, kanyaga kubwa kubwa, enda home. And if this is someone who you've understood that relates to you in this aspect, you're able to, say, I can't actually try it with this. And if you feel like it doesn't work out, even in your first month of marriage, I'm an advocate for leave. Enda home.
Can't you fish in the sea?
Please leave, because again, the bit of you staying in a relationship for reasons that really don't align with you, it weighs heavily even on your heart. Unaendanga, yani unaamkanga tu ushachoka na masaibu za dunia, that you're the only person who's going through, yeah? So for me, just have your standards, live when it's necessary, and don't compromise on those your standards.
You are 18 years in marriage, right? Imagine if you left in the first year when maybe Mama Watoto told you something or shouted at you, or, refused to cook that night. In your first year of marriage, imagine if you left the way Cindy's telling us this morning.
I am not leaving. I am in for life. I'm married and know some lady. Yeah. I am not complete without her. She's been able to build the man that I am. And I hope the reciprocity is the same. The reality is you don't know who you're marrying. Dating for 2, 3, 6 months is not adequate for you to really get to know someone. That's the honest truth. you get to love the person that you marry. And down the line, you begin to chart a new journey with each other in covenant. And in being in close relationship with people, you get to know who they really are. You get to really experience their value system. Because the values that attracted you to the individuals, that's the thread that sustains the relationship. Is the person accountable? Is the person integral? Is the person full of peace? Do they bring fidelity to the relationship? What is their priorities like in life? Do they place emphasis on personal growth? Do they foster relationship and work the relationships around them, both in our family, friends and family and extended family members? What are some of the things they esteem in life? There's a course we give for trained people for, it's free if you're interested. It's called Beyond Success by Dr. John Maxwell. These are values I would encourage anyone. You need to work these things in your life. They'll bring you help down the line. The values is what attracts us. But one of the things that I think that gets my attention when you say when love turns deadly. There's this popular movie that is trending, The Polygamist. When I was preparing, I had a read through to understand it, just to you know, it's one thing to carry a gun and shoot your spouse, which has happened. We've seen it in the newspapers when love turns deadly and someone uses a gun. For her, she plotted to use someone who has AIDS to infect the husband to die. So she did not use any violence. So you cannot hold it against her. But she used the same thing that used to draw him by getting multiple women, workplaces, friends to his children, and all this, and kill the husband. The reality is, doesn't have to get that far. There are red flags. If you know this guy has a knack of looking at other women, watch out. Don't expect miracles when you marry that individual. If this person strikes you first, the first time, you're even dating, and he has the audacity to slap you, forget about having false optimism that he will change. That dude will not change. Run.
A notch higher.
Hey, run.
Hold on to that thought. You're watching TV47 Breakfast. You want to take a very short break at this point, but we are talking matters relationship. When love turns deadly, are we ignoring the red flags in our relationships? Keep interacting with us, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X, it's TV47 Digital, and I'll see you on the other side of this break.
Did you know you deserve to earn royalties every time your artist
Habari yako?
Sintalipa kesho.
Kesho gani when?
Si kesho ya kesho ya tomorrow.
Hiyo tena. Mzee ni budi nikamchoka. Ni budi ni madeni.
Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. on TV47. Sundays at 8:30 p.m.
Good morning.
You have my rent?
Leo jioni kama tutakuwa tumelipa rent, nauza hii simu yako.
Hamna pesa. I need 3 G's to make my nails today.
Sasa hivi natuhusu aje?
Can I order now? Do you ship? Can I get blinking ones?
Mimi nilikuwa na trade. Nimewekelea kitele yangu. Kitele yangu na trade. Nikikunyuma.
Oh my God. You left me.
Nitumie ni live.
Uko nje kuna wifi.
Why? Hi-Fi? Wait, so what do we call this dish again?
I have no idea.
All right, welcome back and thank you so much for staying with TV47 Breakfast. We are talking about when love turns deadly. Are we ignoring red flags in relationships? And my panel is still in studio. And on that break, it was a little bit heated. And we've started a conversation on principles that Cindy brought up. And you know, Matthew is of the opinion that sometimes Gen Zs have unrealistic principles. And we're asking, what are these unrealistic principles? Matthew, we'll just start there. What are these unrealistic principles that you say Gen Zs are having nowadays?
You know, let me be clear.
Yeah.
It is one thing to have the principles. But if your principles cannot match your values, that is unrealistic principle. So unrealistic principle cannot be measured in terms of a sustainable relationship at long run, at any point. Everything is vanished.
So I'm thinking, if somebody has some sort of principle, then that is what they're aligned to. You know, principles and values. Does their values allow them to make sure that these principles are working in their lives? For somebody to have some sort of principles, I'd say that maybe they're having those principles because that is what they believe in. That is, those are their values that they believe in. So I think it's just one and the same. Cindy, if you can clarify that for us.
Let me give you an example. You are looking... Because
this debate was between you two.
Yeah. and I want now to be very, very much, maybe just one example about a lady is not, doesn't have the respect to the husband. But at the same time, they are expecting, according to their print list, number one is a respectful husband. Number two is a husband that provides. Do you know all these things cannot be achieved when you cannot respect this person? Now, if your values are not able to sustain your principles, the achievement of whatever you want to get, it is unrealistic because you cannot get whatever you want. It's like for me today, I alight from a private jet, then you tell me, Matthew, can I have 5,000? Then I tell you I don't have. That is a fake. That's a fake life that I'm living. So if your principles cannot align with your values, that's unrealistic principle. And now Gen Z stop complicating a lot of things sometimes. Just there's no need because and you are here, Cindy, maybe you can just elaborate on that because that's how, according to how I understand. And this is where mtu anakuja analia. The other day I saw a clip, I don't know if you guys saw a lady being thrown out of a BMW a car. You saw it? Yeah. Such a thing.
And so, why were his boxers out?
Actually, I wondered, and I was seeing and repeating. So anasema ni heri ulie kwenye Range Rover ama ucheke kwenye ama ni heri ucheke kwenye Range Rover instead of crying on a boda. That's the world that you're living in.
And because I'm looking at it, you know, values are what matters to you, right?
Yes.
And principles are, of course, how you choose to behave because of what matters to you. Right.
So they go in tandem. One cannot exist without the other.
Correct.
So me expecting you to be honest is two-way.
Does it mean that you are honest if you're expecting me to be honest?
Ziwa saying you attract what you are.
Good.
You can't be in a space that you expect honesty when you're
There are people who expect honesty and are not honest. That's
now you see you're dealing with the wrong crowd. Now if you come back to us who are very intentional about this.
No, talk about you, not us.
No, I know a couple of people who think the way I do. But aside from that, you see, even before we go far, I've not interacted with the video online about the person being thrown out of a BMW. But if I am to weigh in my 2 cents, that's extremely wrong. It doesn't matter what the relationship was, what led them to that. At the end of the day, you throw someone out of a moving vehicle, that is criminal. Yeah.
It was not moving. She had refused to come out from the car that is not hers.
So
I
you
think that's
throw
an old video. Yeah.
Okay, I've not interacted with it,
it's
but
online. Just check.
I'll try to.
Good.
But at the end of the day, let's just not resolve to, violence as the answer to some of these things. Kama amekata, okay, get maybe a police officer to, come and assess the situation. Like the reason we Kenyans don't give much credit to our police officers is sometimes we don't even, encourage them to come and help us. Anyway, aside from that, Gen Zs and our principals, let me just say we are very self-aware. And that is one thing that the previous generations are really struggling with. Because when I tell you, I've come on set and maybe I've faced some challenges. One thing, I'll communicate the challenges to you, and maybe you tell me, hey, maybe for instance, it's very cold right now, but I've noticed the set is very warm. So I feel like that was tweaked to our advantage, because at the end of the day, it is very cold outside. So if I come and tell you, hey, the last time the set was very cold, could you guys do something about it? Gen Zs were very big on communication, yeah? And if we can't get that, if our communication is not, we are not listened to, we are just being heard, then we step. Yeah. And another thing I've noticed, you guys, the older generation, really struggle with. You don't like being told that this is wrong, and this is not what I'm going to conform to. This is not something that aligns with my principles. Oh, hapo mtani ni HR will just, they will, atalipuka. But us, the principles we have, the values we've, cultivated over time, they really matter to us. And that's why when we get into these relationships, if I am going to be honest and you are not going to be honest, please, we have no business being together. Because it's going to start as small bickering. Unajua hata ukwangi, ukuniambia unaenda wapi nini. The next thing you know, you're starting to have quarrels. The next thing you know, you can't stand each other. Kidogo, you're having a very hostile environment, nyi wawili mkipatana, which is very pointless because you don't have aligning principles. And sometimes that's just it. Your values don't get along, therefore it's okay.
Compatible, yeah.
Yeah, you're not compatible. Please leave each other alone. Go before you start giving us headaches of nani amepigwa leo amevunjwa mbavu ako Kenyatta Hospital. We have to start looking for blood, sijui surgery. Look at the financial implications of even gender-based violence and mental health. There's, you have to pay for those things when someone is in the hospital. But all of this would have been avoided if only you understood that me and Matthew are not compatible, yeah? And that's just it. Leave it at that. Everyone goes their way, yeah? So that is my understanding of what values and principles are in that regard.
Ziwa, Matthew brought in a point that sometimes you, as counselors, when this couple, they come for counseling, and then they go back home and they go against what you tell them during counseling sessions. Does it happen so? That you tell them this and then they go home and then they do something totally different. And then they come back again with the same problem.
Anne, you're putting me on the spot.
Because he brought it up. We just want clarity.
Yeah. Honestly, we're all to share in the blame, not as pastors, counselors, psychologists, marriage therapies, whichever angle you choose to go, we're all to share in this, because who teaches you how to love? Which school have you gone to teach you on how to love? Have you gone to one?
No.
Have you gone to one? We go to a school to become a certified accountant, to become a lawyer, to become an engineer, to become a physicist, to become a chemist. But which school is there to teach you on matters love and family and relationship?
Love itself.
Before you go to marriage? Hardly any. So it's our responsibility to own our share of a burden. In my angle, I'm trying to hold on a particular tangent where I was like, let me enter this space and give my contribution to help on already what I would call a pandemic. Because there's hardly many people who are willing to be vulnerable. Not that they bring perfection, that I have every T crossed and every I dotted. I have my own idiosyncratic behavior here and there. But there's a need to be honest and candid and say we have a crisis and needs to be responded to. and we need to guide people on how to love and to care for the one they choose to love, and to walk a healthy path in matters family and relationship. And a good marriage is attainable. A hilariously happy marriage is attainable. And you can't put a blind eye that abusive relationships out there. So, Matthew, what you said could be partly true, but also partly not true. When you go through premarital counseling and sessions where people coach you and help you to navigate the journey of life, they have discovered certain truths and values that would guide and work a healthy relationship. However, as we're sharing them, we do not dictate to you how you're going to lead your life. You choose. You pick and choose what would work for you. But ideally, we say these would work for you because where we draw them from, they have proven and tested that this works. However, the people who are being involved in that space, they have their own opinions of what they want to experience in their own relationship. Let's say, case in point, tell them, you see, when you're getting married, it's important that you work from a common pool of finances. You've never seen that before. You're telling me I bring my money, put it on the table, and all of us use it together. Guy, no way.
No way.
So they would already choose their own narrative, but we've already told them this is the best way to administrate your finances. It brings a place of accountability and transparency and lowers your expectation because you all know what you're working with. But someone's been told, your money is our money, but my money is my money. You're going to have trouble. So now we don't dictate, but we've already told you the truth of what works. I saw the video that you're making mention of. It was disheartening that two men, I saw three men, one who came from this side of the driver, came to the rear end of the car and pulled out the woman and threw her by the roadside. And obviously she looked like she's drunk or she looked like she's under some kind of influence. She could hardly help herself. But there is a bystander man who could not
do anything.
I think that's what hurt me. This young man, what he did, he had no time even to rotate around to go back to his car. He could have stopped there and said, hey, you cannot do that. He could have held him aground. And then there's another man who came responsibly as a first responder to help, and this one did not help. I think it's painful when you have abusive men involved in relationship, men who have never dealt with their past pains and griefs and hearts to get involved into a young relationship where the Gen Z are getting involved into. And one of the things that will safeguard you from that is find people who will coach you, mentor you, temper your character and guide and structure you in a particular way that will help you to arrive to your desired destination in relationship.
Still on that issue of counseling, because when you're starting, you mentioned something about have some sort of friends, or even family who will always hold you accountable or will always act as, a third eye for you in that relationship. And Cindy asked, as counselors, sometimes do you call the other side, the couple, one of them, you call them aside and tell them, this is your partner. So if you as counselors, you interact with these people and sometimes you see that one of them is not in the right mindset to be in this particular relationship, then why don't you act as a third eye and tell them there's something that you need to look out for?
In my wallet, I have a letter. I'd written it for someone. Because after doing some time to genuinely care for this individual, I remarked certain things and I'm like, this one is trouble. I haven't even passed it on. Yeah, there's a time when...
You haven't passed it on?
I haven't passed it on.
Why?
I don't think it's in my place to really volunteer help that has not been asked for. As a principal, I don't volunteer help that has not been asked for.
So how do we...
But behind the scenes...
How do we then, as friends and family...
When you say friends, it's a different ball game than someone who's outsourcing help as a couple. If they're outsourcing help as a couple, I think the the principles and values that guide the place of counseling, where you respect the people that they came to look out for that help. So if you're going to volunteer that help, let it be in a place where the both are. There's nothing secret about it. Say it for what it is while they're both there. But if you go behind the scene, that might create other bonding with the other individual, which is not necessarily healthy. So unless the people have gone separate ways and they're in a place of they're irreconcilable, you might find space to talk to them if they come to seek for that kind of help. So what I usually do, after you've talked to the people, you've been able to help them. And you can see this particular individual is genuinely honest, but honestly wrong and genuinely wrong. You can't help but stop them in their tracks and say, hey, if you can, write this word, slow but sure. Listen. When you write it down, don't just write it down. Listen.
All right. Let's talk about the famous question, why people stay in abusive relationships. And we'll start with you, Matthew. Why do you think somebody will definitely see these red flags and still choose to stay?
Number one is because of the society, the way the society has tried to paint the essence of marriage and relationship, that you need to be in a relationship, you need to do this. I sometimes raise the case about the couple had the kid already, or the kids. So the society, instead of you saving your life and the life of the kid to be in a good mental state way, so you are staying there thinking that I'm here because of the kids, so you are still prolonging the whole problem. Another thing is in terms of hoping that things might change, things will be better again, so I'm still holding on. So you're still holding on till there's a time that things cannot be reconciled again. And then maybe just the last one in regards to Pan-Africanism, the spirit of I am because we are, is that the communal value of marriage and relationship in most cases try to entangle more so the men. This is quite different maybe for men to hear, but mostly for men, because as a man, even today, there's, I don't want to mention, but there's some MPs you have had, they are MPs, they don't have wives, and some people use that to tackle them. Even it is also happening now. It has started to happen even with the ladies, whereby you might find a lady, she's not yet married, but when she seeks an elective position, maybe in their area, they tell her, this is not your place. Go to where you are. You are married. So, and if I'm not married, am I not supposed to lead? So this is something that still puts a lot of people in a state whereby they don't need to be there. And then the last thing now comes with the Gen Zs, because I've been talking about the those people who are already in the marriage, but now those ones that are already in a relationship that they're hoping it will work. It's all the aspect of pressure. All my circles are dating, all my individuals maybe are in a good relationship, so I need to align with whatever is there, so that Piamini feel that warmth of whatever is happening. So you end up being in that relationship, seeking advice from the wrong people, seeking advice from the wounded individuals. At the same time, you end up prolonging your healing. Yeah, and the trauma becomes even bigger. By the time you reach a level whereby now you want to get into a marriage, now you are even worse, and you cannot handle anything that's going to. So that's what I think makes people prolong into the abusive relationship. Yeah.
And Cindy, do you think that now Gen Zs would stay in abusive relationships, if at all, now that we're looking at the reasons as to why some choose to stay?
Okay. First of all, I'd like to dispute your last point. You're saying, this is so Cindy. Yeah. So, first of all, I'd like to dispute that. Sometimes what we understand pressure to be is not what it is, yeah? Because, as I said, I work with a parent group. Everyone in that office has someone, and I'm the only one who I am very disinterested in relationships. I don't even want to think about relationships. I am very me-oriented, yeah? And you'd say, but Cindy, everyone around you has, you know, well, CG will be talking and my CEO is like, my love. My CG, my colleague is like, oh, the love of my... And I'm just like, you know, it's life, yeah? So I wouldn't say pressure would inform a person's decision around dating or even staying in marriages. What I know would inform is advice given from the people around you. For instance, there is no statement I hate more than just persevere. Hey? What do you mean just endure. Persevere? Just endure. I hate that statement because I've come to you with a genuine concern. I tell you, hey Anne, I'm married, but lately my husband has been we've been having issues of infidelity, especially from his side. We've been having issues of him, you know, beating me. He's not providing for the kids as we had agreed, you know. And these are things I'm actually telling you. And then you tell me, Cindy, unajua, marriage is about persevering. And if he's not doing that, just try and, you know, fill in that gap. Why am I filling a gap when I'm already doing my half of the agreement, yeah? Why do I have to go 3/4 mile to cover what someone else can't do for themselves, yeah? This is someone who's maybe checking out mentally and I'm failing to clock it. I'm failing to understand that, hey, this person is done with me and maybe, you know, it's just time to move. Yeah. And so I think I've disputed that. Now let me get to the reasons why people leave. First of all,
would Gen Z stay in abusive relationships?
Personally, no. No.
Where come Cindy, you would never.
I don't know if I'm too sensitized because I understand what abuse is. Whether it's mentally or physically, I know the scope of how it can go. I know it doesn't start as to pure gas cylinder. It starts from somewhere, yeah? So if I see those red flags at the very initial stage, trust me, I will tell you I'm leaving, but with my bags outside, yeah? So for myself, as a Gen Z who's really sensitized around matters gender-based violence, and I know my mental health is really a priority for me, I would not stay. But then I raised a question initially about the financial implications of someone whose background does not allow them to live. And we can't say that it's an abstract thing from Gen Zs. Gen Zs also have backgrounds that are not maybe well balanced, or they may not be where they want to be financially. And you've heard of the Wababas thing. Let's not shy away from the Wababas thing. It's a thing that is actually active and it's ongoing. And it's something that a lot of people have subscribed to. And also mamas. So don't just say, oh, CG gender impartiality. So you see, it's something that is actively going on. Young ladies are attached to older men, or young men are attached to older women. Right. And sometimes if you follow the stories of these people, these younger people, it's because they don't have money and they're trying to survive. Let's say, for instance, in Nairobi, it's very prevalent. And life in Nairobi is so hectic, financially, even mentally, it's so draining. So you find someone who's gonna cater for your costs. What do you say? Amen, thank God. And then you immerse yourself fully, but you don't know the background of this person. And then you get pregnant. You're a young person in your 20s. We've seen cases of even people in the social media. They have kids and they're not able to leave those relationships because they understand that if I leave, there's nowhere I'm going. So again, I'm still throwing that ball because I want to understand how do we go about that? How do we now as young people say, this is my turning point, I am gonna hustle and do this and actually, you know, understand that I can actually manage on my own. Because again, the issue of single parenting, it's something that is hugely shunned. And I liked his first point about societal expectations. Society will tell you, hey, when you're single mother, wow, oh my God, you must be the problem. And you know, it's something that's a mentality and people are very comfortable with it. So you might find someone shying away from the thought of single parenting because they see the financial implications of it, the mental implications, and the balance just doesn't work for them. So they stick to those abusive relationships regardless of their ages. So again,
right,
Counselor.
So Ziwa, you can respond to that as we close the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, one of the things that one should know is that to permit is to participate. for you to indulge yourself in an abusive relationship. You allowed it, but you don't have to stay there. Don't be in a place of ignorance. Get help. Be informed. Be educated about some of these things and how subtle they can come around you. If you found yourself you've groomed into an abusive relationship, allow other people to rescue you. Sometimes they find themselves they're too deep into the abusive relationship that they cannot free themselves out of it. If it is matters related with finances, like Cindy is saying, I think one of the things is personal growth. Every woman should place a huge emphasis on their personal growth. Work on yourself, educate yourself, add value to yourself. Don't find yourself in a place where you're left into a subservient relationship where you turn to the whims and schemes of this man abusing you because you're financially incapacitated. And you have a family that loves you. You have people who genuinely love you, not because of the things you do or give, but because you are valuable. They care for you. And if a man does not see value in you, he will abuse you. And it doesn't have to be that way. So one of the biggest responsibility falls back on the individual. Get into a place where you pursue the things you're passionate about, you enjoy doing, and don't feel like God is nervous because you're single. No, he's not. And there are people who would want you to know that actually you're okay, you're fine, you'll be fine. Don't get into an abusive relationship because the status quo is everyone must get married. Yes, everyone must get married. But who said everyone must get married? There are some who are meant to be single for life.
True.
You know?
Some are meant to be nuns, eh?
Yeah, it's a good
nuns
gift.
and priests. All right, thank you so much, gentlemen and lady, for making time for us to have this conversation. That is Ziwa, Cindy, and Matthew. We are talking about when love turns deadly. Are we ignoring these red flags? And keep interacting with us. Tell us some of these red flags that you think we do ignore once we get into relationships. Socials, TV47 Kenya on Facebook and on YouTube. On X is TV47 Digital. Use the hashtag TV47 Breakfast, hashtag story yetu. We've come to the end of the conversation and to the end of the show this morning. We do thank you for keeping us company, and to everyone who's made this broadcast and the show a success, we do appreciate you for your time and effort. My name is Annie Odida. Good morning.